What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Oh man, I don't have my little coin. I gotta find my coin now. Anyways, would you say you're the ringleader, Blake?
The ringleader, yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go cohort.
Go Horseman. So I have Blake here. Blake, introduce yourself. What do you talk about the Horsemen?
So, my name's Blake Pennington. I don't have a lot of accomplishments in my Pokemon career. I'm a one-time world qualifier. Only really tried twice, but we got there. I started playing Pokemon again at the start of the pandemic, and we up top 82. What are they called now? They're not cities. They're the league cups.
It's about
So
league, like
I
in
got
real
back to
life.
playing that.
Okay.
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah. Because like right when the pandemic started, I got back into playing, and from there we went all digital, which I really enjoy playing all digital. Um, I've qualified top five last two Players Cups, and that's about it about me. The Horsemen, we're high caliber Alabama players, and that's it.
So the big thing, guys, is like Blake said, for like the past two Players Cups, he's gone like top five, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so he's top five, and nobody ever talks about Blake, and I'm like, yo, y'all are sleeping on the kid. Like, dude obviously knows his stuff, right? So I was like, we gotta have Blake on here. One of my good friends. I mean, we partied many a times, and I like a lot of times I talk about Pokemon. I'm like, Blake, what am I doing? And Blake's like, I don't know. And I'm like, me either. Let's just go for it. And that's what we're doing today. We're talking about Players Cup 3. So we both qualified. Blake, how many points did you end up with?
I think 147, under 150.
Okay. And let's see. And it was, what deck was it? Was it all the same deck, right?
I played Loop Metal the entire time, and I wanted to just. I would not recommend doing that at all. Let's just put it PG. Just don't do that.
So if you watch the videos, we actually played against Blake in one of the rounds. So, and he bopped me. He got me.
I
So
barely got there.
it's okay. So we still count that as a win, man. I was like, man, Blake's still playing. He's playing again. Because what did you play for Players Cup 2 while qualifying? Was it Luke Metal as well?
I played Loop Metal the entire qualifier. So for 100 keys, I've played nothing but Loop Metal.
So in the actual Players Cup 2, how did you do in that one?
So for the actual tournament, or the elimination round, played Pikarom. And so I had a round one bye last time, and then second round I played the mirror match and I lost the coin flip, so I lost that matchup, and then I won the next four before losing to Eternatus to be eliminated.
Mm,
So,
I got you. So what was it, like top 64 or no? Did they cut that high or something?
somewhere I did the math once. It was cool, but it wasn't anything to brag about.
And I know some people won't say it's a bragging right, but you also made it through the team challenge, correct?
Yeah, I again playing Loop Metal. uh, I went undefeated in our team qualifier. So
Well, there we go. And we both got a round one bye.
sure did.
I mean, we won our first
So,
round. That's what I mean to say.
exactly. So we have to win one more game for the playmat. All right, top 256. Here we come.
We love Pokemon. But outside of the Pokemon events, have you played in like any of like the other little things they have, like the Chill Series or Limitless or I forget. There's so many tournaments now.
So I played in the first Limitless when they first started. I played in three of those, and I made day two and the three. I made day two twice in the three that I played,
Oh, okay.
and I've been playing in some of Azul's subscriber tourneys. So, and I got a top 4 and a top 8 in those.
Did you
Of the four I played.
did you get a rat trophy for getting top 4?
I got 2 rat trophies.
Oh, that's what should be behind you right now.
Hey, if it wasn't across the room, I'd get them.
Dang. Shout out to Azul, man. Now, those Azul tournaments, they're like specially custom made, right? Like, I don't know, right?
Yeah, they're pretty cool. Actually, I'll go grab one.
Yeah, well, yeah, I gotta show them off. That's probably the most important thing up here. Forget making top 5 at the Players Cup 3 and 2.
Exactly. So this was my first one. It was a 5th place. Forget Worlds, forget. And this is my favorite one. My 3rd place.
Third.
Right, gang.
Third. Oh my goodness. Did he do that intentional, or do you think he actually did that on accident?
I'm gonna hold my comment on that.
I love Azul. I love Azul. Yeah. We'll say that much. Like, I hope it's got to be some kind of meme I don't know about. It has to be. I don't know. I never have time to watch streams, and that man streams like nonstop. So
Sure did. Right before I started my new job, I had a couple weeks off, and I did nothing but just sit and play Pokemon and watch Azul play all day, and it was just constant. It was the best couple weeks of my life.
Shout out to Azul for helping us out. All right, so speaking of sitting around and testing, have you tested since like qualifying for the Players Cup 3?
I took a little break, and then I started about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. Getting back acclimated. The meta really hasn't changed much, in my opinion. We're playing Luke Metal a little differently now. It looks like with tag calls and stuff. But it seems like that Eternatus has really started to dominate.
For some random reason.
No new cards, and I just don't really understand it unless people playing have just completely abandoned Pikarom, which is not a good matchup for Eternatus. Or for Pikarom, it's not a good matchup against Eternatus, but here we are with Eternatus probably being the best deck in format, in my opinion.
Yeah, the more I think about it, I think it's because it's the resurgence of Centiskorch is what's making Eternatus so good. Like, you're like, oh, I just bop them. Like, they're not faster than me, so maybe that's why.
Right. I think it's that and the lack of big charms in ADPZ.
I could see it. So
yeah.
Yeah, it's really weird, like you said. Like, I just see Eternatus, and like, if you told somebody like a month ago you're playing Eternatus, they're like, you're playing a bad deck. Like,
right.
And now it's like I saw somebody cut with like Weavile the other day, and I was like, yo, mind blown. Like,
and the craziest thing for me is like whenever I test it, it's like I'll start getting on a run, and then I'll play 2 or 3 games in a row where I just miss my second energy drop. And I think I'm sequencing correctly. I don't know for sure, but keeping the bench, spots open and all that kind of fun stuff. Where I can, draw hard when I need to, and it's just like, all right, So I've, played 2 and 2 Crobats, and I play 9-10 energy. Where's the second one? And it's just constantly happens to me when I play it. So that's why I'm not a huge fan of the deck. If I can't end my turn one saying Intrepid Sword, I'm just really not about it.
So that means you're at least like fans of 3 decks in like Stall, Luke Metal, and ADP. Yeah, I think the interesting thing, like you said, with Eternatus as well too, is like since there's less Pikarom, there's less Crushing Hammers, which means Etern has like a better like spread, if that makes sense.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah, so I think that's the whole reason why we see like an increase of E-turn. Like if E-turn goes, all right, I'm going first, we attach energy. Turn 2, you're like, all right, you're set back for 2 turns again. So
exactly, and I think almost everybody's abandoned, even trying to play Colossal, just because of how the resurgence of Luke Metal lately. Because it seems to be like it might not be the second best deck,
Hmm.
but it seems to be a very popularly played deck. Probably right behind Cindy in in that ballpark at least. So, and that just completely destroys Colossal.
Yeah. So, all right. So we talked about what the meta kind of shaped, right? So E-turns increased, Pikaroms pretty much died, but what has Shiny Fates brought? Like, is it just Rusted Sword? Like, or is there other stuff in Shining Fates that people will be playing in these the PC3?
I haven't seen it.
I played against a wild Ditto V deck. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, was Crobat V or
Oh
VMAX
yeah, yeah,
in
yeah. That's actually
a little
like
bit of that.
yeah. So I don't know. It's still scary though.
Mhm.
It's like the same thing. Like if you miss an energy, you're just gonna lose because you need like two on it.
Exactly.
So I don't know. It's like one of those like if you play against Crushing Hammer and they flip heads, you're going to lose. So I feel like.
Yep.
And then, all right. So speaking of Luke Metal, does it gain anything with that new Shield card, or is that just a dead card? You don't even play that guy.
I think it's hard personally. Um, I mean, yeah, I see no point in playing it. There's no, to me, there's no advantage in playing that over a metal goggle.
I got you. True. Like the Metal Goggles just outclass it because you just use it for anybody. So
Right.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I would also say like Rusted Sword's like the only card I could think of that makes any impact like remotely in the format.
Exactly.
So
And it's
why?
made ADP a
Which
little
is
more interesting.
say it again.
I said it's made ADP Z builds a little more interesting.
That's true. We'll go over that here in a second. The big thing is I don't know why Shiny Fates is selling out. The sets are so bad. It's so weird.
Just can't find it. I
I
mean,
know.
so yeah, I mean, there's just no Pokemon product at all locally here.
Oh, same. That's another topic. I can go with that. There's not even theme decks in my area. They're missing. Like I'm like, you know what's in a theme deck. Like, what are you buying this for? That's a whole different discussion. Like scalpers are just making my day. So
Right. I'm just going to start pulling up a Target with my car and like, hey, I got some bulk back there.
so okay. So speaking of ADP, so it obviously it gains Rusted Sword, right? Now, is Rusted Sword so good that you can be like, okay, I'm playing like straight Zacian and just like super Zashi boys, or do you still think like the ADP is like still needed in the Z part?
I think the extra prize cards really help that out so much.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just turns games that, are matchups that you really don't have much business winning, and it gives you a fighting chance. If you can just, if you get it off and the ADP survives after Ultra Creation, you're going to win almost any game.
True.
So if you can build your deck to go second against a Centiscorch VMAX deck and just consistently get that off, I mean, they're not going to touch you.
I agree. So it's like you said, if you get the alter creation into whatever the attack's called, you're just like, I'm just gonna boss up a Dedenne like turn 2 and take a knockout because any deck's gonna drop a Dedenne a Crobat like turn 1 nowadays. So
Yep.
it's so dumb, but it's so good. It's like dumb and good. But so I started looking before we started talking. Now the weird thing is we talk about how ADP has gained from Rusted Sword, but when you're looking through the standings, I actually don't see it like anywhere. Do you think it's like because people just aren't playing it because they're tired of playing ADP, or is it actually just not as good as we think it is?
I think the all the Cinescorch being played lately has a lot to do with that. And again, cutting the big charms out of ADPZ in favor of more consistency cards and hammers and the sword to make room for that. I think the charms have been one of the first things to go. And it's just, you're not getting off that, all right, my ADP is still alive after Alter Creation. Now you're having to dig for saucers.
Mm-hmm.
And, hitting those consistently after maybe having to do some, shenanigans on turn one with a saucer and, flipping it up and stuff like that. If you don't, so then you got three saucers left in the deck, you don't really have much recovery after your ADP goes down. So I think the meta has really kind of, it seems like it has a lot of even matchups though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I think that is a good thing to point out. It's like a lot of these decks are 50-50. Like obviously, like even like Colossal versus E-Turn. Like I still see E-Turn players take out Colossal players. Like it just comes down to like how you play it. Like are you poisoning with the Crobats and stuff like that? Like there's cool little plays you can do. So, so would you expect ADP to still be not as played because they're scared of Senti Scorch? Or do you think, like... So Player Scope 3, for those who don't know, you actually have advantage of seeing your opponent's deck list, which is pretty crucial, I feel like. I don't know if all online tournaments have that. I haven't played in any online tournaments, so I couldn't tell you.
Most of them do.
Oh, they do? Okay. Okay, so maybe that doesn't change things. Well, I guess the big thing about Players Cup, and Blake can agree to this, it sucks to lose your 2 games pretty quick. So maybe that helps out more. Maybe there's more ADP because like you're more consistent and like, but I don't know. It's weird to think about, right?
Yeah, I agree. So with that being said, I really do think if you don't play ADPZ against ADPZ in the first couple rounds, you might miss it the entire tournament, being the 50-50 nature of the deck. I mean, it's going to hit Eternatus in one of those first 2 rounds. So if you can stay on the good side of the bracket, you might miss it the entire tournament.
Mm-hmm. Now, how does the ADP versus E-Turn matchup go? Do you have any idea about that or no?
If you, with the poison package lately, it just seems like they're getting the turn 2 KO on the ADP pretty consistently now. With no big arm, and since it's kind of, for the most part, we've seen some interesting takes on Eternatus with Weavile GX and stuff like that, which is really neat for the mirror match and stuff like that. But for the most part, we're seeing the poison build, and you get the poison out on the ADP, and you get a full bench. It's over.
True. So, so maybe like ADP won't be as big like everybody expects it to be. Now, would you say E-Turn's going to be the biggest deck, or would you say that Senti's going to be the biggest deck?
I think Eternatus is going to be the most widely played deck, especially looking at some of the play limitless results lately.
I think a thing too is now, Eternatus has like promos. So when you're thinking of like an online market of how to get cards, you're like, well, I can just get them. I can get them easily now. So maybe that's another factor as well. Like, Eternatus, let's go. Like, it's easy to go. It's easy to get the code cards. You can just buy them for like $1, I think. Like,
exactly. The only real barrier to it is getting the 4 Crobats.
Yeah, I agree. But even now, like, Crobat has like what, 4 different versions, 3 different versions? How many of it is? Is it 3, 4?
I'm not sure about physical cards.
Because there's the regular, full art, shining, and then the promo shining, right?
I know 3 of those for sure.
Okay, I knew he was like in a promo box. I didn't know that gave you a code for Crobat V.
It should. I didn't know there was a promo box. You see how out of touch with the physical product I am because you can't buy it. I just don't even keep up with it.
Well, the good thing, the scalpers don't care about the code card, so you just...
That's true.
you just gotta convince them to crack it open for you.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure there's a Crobat V in VMAX box because that's how you get like the VMAX pretty easily because it is a promo. But I could be incorrect as well. I have no idea. So I also have not opened. I've only opened up 1 Shiny Fates. And that was an Eldegoss 10. So
nice.
Yeah. All right. So we talked about some of the matchups. What are some decks that like people should keep on the radar and like not be surprised if they see it? Like we saw last weekend, there was like what two Blacephalon decks. I guess Blacephalon, as you call them. Like, I have no idea what this new variant is. Should you like be prepared for that, or is there any other decks you think that people should watch out for?
So I do think that if, we already have my theory on ADPZ, that if you miss it early, you're probably going to miss it the entire tournament,
Okay.
unless you're playing a really top tier player guiding it. I think Mad Party might, sneak up on us.
Okay. Okay. So you're going Mad Party. I still think that for some odd reason that like Decidueye is going to do really good. Like, there's going to be a Decidueye that gets really, really high up there. That's like, yeah, I got it. Or we're going to go like next level. I'm going to keep with the grass theme. I think we're going to see like a Rowix deck also do really good.
Right, right. Yeah, I'm still terrified about just, wall decks. Because, one loss sends you into the bad column, and who knows what you're going to face over there. So if you can stop that loss with one card, like for example, since I'm very openly planning to play Luke Metal, playing that Aegislash, just makes sense to me,
True. Yeah, because you don't want to take against Lost Decidueye, because then who knows? You lose in the next round, you're playing against like some Porygon Z, like some Wombo combo stuff, and you're like, bro, how does Luke Metal
Exactly.
I talked about it a second ago, but like the good thing, like the thing to keep noting is if you are playing this, if you lose the 2 games, you're out. So, I think that's another big thing. But okay, so let's talk about other decks. Like what? Maybe you can see a water deck, right? Because like Frostmoth has Snom now. It could be like something. Maybe no.
So I was, that thought's been in my head, like, it's been creeping dangerously, close. It's like, is it time for Inteleon?
I mean, so right. So you're saying like we talked about Cinderscorch was like really high, right? But like, does Inteleon like have a place in this, or I mean, probably not. Like, hopefully not. I hope not.
But if you avoid, Pikarom, if Pikarom numbers are down, so you could theoretically make that, gut call and say, hey, I'm going to take this loss here, but I'm going to play Hammers and I'm going to get that energy off Eternatus, with my VMAX, and get another one off here. What are you going to do about it?
That's very true. So, well, the good thing is I'm scrolling through the Headshare Season 3. There's Eternatus, Luke Metal, Pika, so nothing special. Some Blounds there. Let's see. There's another Headshare. There's so many Headshares, man. They're always rocking it. Blacephalon, Luke Metal, Cinti, Turn. Oh, dude, there's a Psychic Mewtwo. Psychic Mewtwo. What about that one? Is that?
So I think, does it play the Jirachi if it's playing Psychic Mewtwo?
Oh, let's see here.
It would have to.
Yeah, it's playing Jirachi GX.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I just think there's probably better ways to play Mewtwo, in my opinion. But it almost seems like, personally, would Fire Mewtwo even be better than playing straight Psychic? This is just me, talking out loud. But
true. I thought there was a Fire Mewtwo that did recently well, but I don't know. There's so many, like I said, there's a million tournaments going on right now, and guys, if you have no idea, like, go check out play.limitlesstcg.com. There's also like some data website now, isn't there? Do you know about that one?
I've seen what is it? Omnipode pull data from these with what is it? Dino data.
Yeah, Dino data. Yeah. True.
Yeah.
So that's also something to look into as well. So I think it might be advertised on the Limitless because I think it has something integrated with it. Okay, so what would be your top 5 decks? I mean, obviously we think we know the first one, right? But if you had to pick like your top 5 decks,
yeah, so for me, top 5. So, and this is just, if I had unlimited time to prep, I would probably literally have Eternatus 1. The reason I'm not playing Eternatus is because I don't want to play the mirror match. I don't know how to play the mirror match, what gives you an edge. So knowing that, I couldn't live with myself knowing my 2 losses were the mirror match. So we're going to go. But, for anybody else, if you're comfortable with the mirror match, I think Eternatus is probably the play. From there, of course, my personal favorite is Luke Metal. I think it's going to be an Eternatus meta, and if you can beat, Eternatus pretty consistently. I mean, I went 22-0 versus Eternatus in the Players' Cup with Luke Metal. So I know those are qualifiers and not as good players necessarily.
True.
But, 22-0 is pretty hard to, do. So, and it has a really good spread against most of the field except the fire decks. So, from there, I still really like Pikarom. Just, you get a lot of room for skill expression, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Just knowing when to go into which move. Let's see. And you get bailed out a lot by the crushing hammers. You run high on crushing hammers, you make the right decisions, you're probably going to make, week 2 here. So
True.
I'm still really big on Pikarom. ADPZ seems to have a lot of 50-50 matchups, and it's just not for me. I tested it pretty hard, played around 30-40 games the last couple weeks with it, and it's just it's really good, but it's just not, to me, consistently good. I don't know. That's just my thoughts on it. I also love Cinescourge. It seems really, really good. And if you're expecting to see anything but Eternatus, it's probably the best deck after that. So,
Yeah.
But I don't know. Those are just a top 5. Probably you could probably slide up a little bit, but I don't have the most experience playing with that deck. So.
Yeah. I know I don't have as many points as Blake did, but if we're talking about the grand scheme of things, I would like personal favorite, of course. I'm gonna put Cinescourge to Valley. Number 1. I literally think it beats everything but E-Turn. Like if you look at the magic spread I did, like it's so good. It's just E-Turn. It's like you just hit it and you're like, what do I do? Like they just go off turn 2 and they just knock out your guy and you just lose. So that I'm kind of the same thing with Blake. Like first and second is like Cinti, Savali, and E-Turn. Like even the mirror, I think I lost like 1 mirror match, and the reason why is because I played Savali. Like I stamp them and they're like, oh, I don't have anything. I'm like, well, you stamp me, that's cool. Let's Discord Luke 5. Let's go, boys. Like, so I don't know. And then like you said, Pika's still like near dear to my heart. I like the idea of like you can switch out with Mewtwo, you can like do all that kind of stuff. So that seems really well. And then ADP, of course, it's just like you said, busted. You get Alter Creation into swinging. You're just knocking out the Danny turn 2, taking 3 price cards, and your opponent's like, whatever, man. So, and then like, all right, cool. Now I'm just gonna hit you. And then 5th, I don't know. Like I said, maybe Route Eggs or something. I don't know. I was a big fan of Butterfree for like a really, really long time. If you watch the channel, it's not being played anymore. I don't know why. So I don't know. The 2, like that's probably the 2, like E-Turn or whatever, Cinti Valley. It'll probably be like a last minute decision, like always.
Right.
All right.
I'll accept that text.
Shoot you a text right before submission. Actually, I have to submit, I think, tomorrow night, because I think the list are due Thursday morning.
It's either Thursday or Friday. I put one on last night, a placeholder Luke Metal. I couldn't submit it yet, so I'm probably going to do that right at this call, just where I can not think about it, and if I forget, oh well, there's a very solid deck.
So, okay, so we got the Luke Metal guy in here. What are some techs? I mean, you talked about Aegislash that you can play in Luke Metal, and like, what's the reasoning behind of playing these cards?
Okay. So there's not really a lot of techs, that I have in Metal. there's the Age of Slash that I play, and I've been toying with the giant cape
Okay.
to nullify the new rusted sword. So, you only need one of those, so it's not really killing your consistency too much, and it saves the same general purpose to an extent as metal goggles. Since somebody's really playing tool scrum, and since it is open deck list, you can kind of know when you can get away with just putting that down, or do you really need metal or the metal goggles.
Mm-hmm.
Also, what's been really cute popping up lately is playing the power plant. Since there's been a lot of ADP just saying we're not going to play a stadium anymore. We're going to play one stadium. I've even seen speaking of one stadium a lot. So I get this power plant out going second, knowing you're doing this. Might stick for a pretty good while, and the Mewtwo and the Dedenes are useless.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's very true.
that's the only real choice that I'm, you know. But these have been exposed the last couple weeks, with the new Luke Metal tag call builds, which are really interesting.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask you too. Are you leaning more towards like, was it tag call? Was it Pablo who did it first, or I can't remember who? I can't remember what it was it Tablemon or somebody else who?
No, I feel bad for not knowing who it is, and I can. Was it Stefan?
It could be. I never paid attention to tournament results. So I couldn't tell you.
I think it was. Yeah,
Okay.
he had just the busted build, and it was pretty. Jim Jones sent it to me. He's like, "Hey, have you seen this yet?" And this was like during my little break, and I was like, "No, what is this? And this is doing well. Like, this is awesome.
So
But
so you're definitely leaning like more towards the tag call package than what was beforehand.
right, but this is just me. Since we're playing 2 out of 3, I think you can kind of, you don't have to go completely away from playing a professor's research. At the end of the day, you're going to get Marnied, you're going to get Stamp, and you don't play Dedenes, you don't play Crobats. And when you see, that old lady come up in your hand, you're going to be so happy that you're playing a couple of them at least.
Stamp you to one. You're like, yes, read that one research. I did it.
Right, oh man, I prized my one research. So that's why I play 2 research.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot. Oh man, I just had a question and I just lost it, just like that. I started laughing about research and having a good time, and now I can't recall. Oh well.
Crazy builds with like one was it quick ball?
Stop.
Yeah, it's so funny to me, but I love it. It's really cool because if you theory mon it out, it works. You get the capture energy turn going second, and well, there's your Melmetal and there's your Zacian. What else do you need? One.
True. Because you started one, you're gonna get the other one out now. So.
Right.
All right. So you talked about like, okay, so you're good unless you hit fire, but like, how bad is the fire matchup, right? Because if you watch the video, you took me down, right? But like you said, you got technically lucky, if that's what you want to call that. Whatever. I just call it Pokemon. Like I just got Pokemon, right? Like, how bad is that matchup? Like fire.
It depends on the skill level of the player. So, I believe I still had a over 50% winning percentage against Cinescorch in the Players Cup qualifiers. But, is this against Players Cup, elimination round quality players? And that's no offense by any means, but there is a different skill level. There is the type of player that says I have type advantage, I win. Then there's a player that knows, hey, if I Marnie you, I put down this stadium, and I hit you with a Full Metal Wall GX. You got no answer. All your eggs were in that one basket, and now I just have to wait out your Heatran or whatever other tech you play to get around Zamazenta. So, and it's really not, it was really just a going all in. I have fire, and most of the times what it seemed like.
All right. So we talked about Sigil Scorch and how you beat it, but what about with Cephalon? Like, how's no?
They brick. Well, I mean, but at the same time, you play Marnie, they might brick. So it's Pokemon. If they don't get their guy out that draws 3 cards in their turn, they'll be having a rough time of it.
That's true. So, and that's a good thing to point about breaking with Blacephalon. Like, yes, did Blacephalon just win back-to-back tournaments? Yes, but the question is, how many games did they lose? I don't know, Josh. Let's go look up right now, because luckily we're on Limitless right now. So, Blacephalon went 8-1-1, 5-2-1, and 5-2 in the Hedger Season 3, if you guys were wondering. So only one of those would have made it. The other one went, well, Lord, they played so many games. He went 14-3. All right, let's go to day. I don't know what bracket he was in. So day 1, he went 4-0-1. So he would have been fine 5 rounds. How many rounds did you play in PC3 before we go to day 2?
So they cut to top 16. The math's so weird on it. Because I think they take the. I can't even remember. It's in our handbook.
Oh, yeah, let me just pull up the Players' Cup 3 handbook that I've read so many times, Blake.
Yeah, I've read it 3 times, and I still don't remember it.
I don't know how to read, so, I haven't read it 1 time. I only had a chance to read it twice, because I'm bad at Pokemon, so...
But I think what ends up happening is I think you can just win the first, 5 games if you stay in the winner's bracket. I think that's right, either 5 or 6.
Yeah.
But the math gets, depending on which round you lose in.
Go into the loser's bracket, which is...
Right.
I'm like, sure, man, whatever, Pokemon. So...
You want to stay out of there.
Yeah. Just... Did the guy who win Players' Cup 2, did he... He only lost in the finals, I think. Or did he win? Did he win twice? Did Zach win twice? Or did he?
I can't remember. I was so salty after losing to a turn that I quit paying attention to it.
I'm not gonna lie. I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I just know Zach won, right? That's the only thing I know.
Right, Zach won. I was happy for Zach to win. With
I was happy with Zach. Yeah. Oh yeah, with Pico. See, I was like 90% sure it was Pico. I couldn't tell you. But now you have to watch out because Zach is now playing E-Turn, which might be a good thing for you.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, the champ is playing E-Turn. It's obviously the best deck now. And then Zach pulls out Colossal, and he just bops them all. Next level. So, yo, what if that is next level? How is Colossal against Luke Metal?
Colossal versus Luke Metal. That was one of the matchups I went undefeated against in the Players' Cup qualifiers. It's almost as auto-win as auto-win can get.
True. I even though Eternatus is the best deck in the format, guys, look, I'm trying to be your best friend. Do not play Colossal because you're going to lose. You can even lose to Pikarom. Like, I'm telling you, like, that matchup is not even good because they're just going to Mewtwo you, and you're like, what am I doing in my life today? So, yeah, like, your only auto-win is maybe turn, and, like, even then, like, you're shaky, right?
I mean, I go back to it. If you are comfortable with the Eternatus mirror match, you're going to do well.
Okay, which one is going to be more popular? Is it going to be the poison build or this new, like, 4 Evital, like, I guess it's for free retreat package? Like, I don't know it. I haven't watched anybody play the 4 Evital package yet.
I'm a big fan of the poison myself. It gives you such a good answer to it gives you a fighting chance against Luke Metal, which I think is one of your worst matchups. I'll be honest, I'm trying to call the meta here with Luke Metal, so I think I'm more scared of getting poisoned and running out of switch cards or dolls and stuff like that. So personally for me, I think poison is the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my honest blunt opinion. Losing the energy, hurts with the other build, but the poison hurts a lot more.
True.
Yeah.
Does the poison affect Decidueyes and stuff too, or no? I can't recall how it works.
Ability, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have to read Decidueye.
Yeah, I don't know what to say.
I'm pretty sure it's just attacks, but now you have me second guessing myself.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm just trying to point out, like, if it is ability, if it like abilities go through, then like that's even another reason why you play that, because I feel like it's almost like an auto loss if it, you know, if you just like
Right.
hit it. So I don't know. Either way, if it is, you can still attack with like tuck strokes or something. I don't know. Who knows? Something. I don't
Exactly.
know.
You just might take your L.
Yeah. Take your
Take your L. I mean, I'm taking my L too. A couple of decks. So.
Same. I understand. I understand. So, okay. So, last thing I like always to ask when I'm talking to people is, even though they had a qualified PC3, like you said, it's not like the same thing as playing like in a back-to-back-to-back tournament, right? Because you get your own pace. So, what would be, even though it's not a regionals, what would be like some advice you would give to somebody like this is their first event, I guess, even though you had to qualify for it? Like, what are some tips you would give somebody if this is like brand new, first time ever kind of thing?
All right. Well, Squeaky, for your first Players Cup, I would, no, honestly, I would recommend getting really familiar with Discord and Battle5. Just be really comfortable with it. It's going to be a little overwhelming at first if you're new to most of these online tournaments, because I'm sure there's somebody there that's just plays PTCGO, doesn't play these things off site, and this is their first real big tournament. Just you know read the handbook, get comfortable with everything. That's the first advice I'd give you, because I remember when all this limitless stuff started last summer, it was a little overwhelming, just to get figured out all of a sudden, because my hubris thing, I'm a millennial, I could figure this out on the fly, no biggie. Um, I would also have a second screen ready. This is just all prep work. This really goes all into it. Have a notepad ready, have a pen ready. You know, take notes. Um, find the weakness of your opponent's deck list. You know, if so, for example, when I'm playing against a tournament's decks have to get really aggressive, and they have very unusual counts of switch cards sometimes. With free retreat, with the energy, and um, switch energy and stadium, all can provide a free retreat. So sometimes people get a little cocky. Know your win conditions based off what they have left in deck. This is huge. I've seen people just give up games, knowing they have multiple balls left in deck, and knowing that they have no way of getting something out of active, but I can just sit pass or flip dolls back in my deck. So study your opponent's deck list, have it open, and just know your win conditions. You don't have to attack every turn. You can outsmart somebody, and just cheese a win. But you know what? If you can cheese a win, it's better than a loss and going to loser's bracket or going home.
True. Yeah. I think one thing I've noticed too, and I know it's very weird to say, is I've seen some people have opted, maybe it's just like some random people I've encountered, they've opted not to look at their opponent's deck list for some weird reason. I don't know if you've ever seen that before, but I definitely have had, like, I don't need to know my opponent's deck list. Like, look, I'm just going to tell you, your opponent's looking at your deck list, you better. So talking about deck list, one last thing. Since it's open, would you play more text or more consistency because you know that your opponent can see stuff?
I think I'm playing more text just because it's 2 out of 3. So you can get away with playing more 1-up, in my opinion. That it's not going to hurt your consistency, and this is coming from the guy that ends his turn saying, I'll draw 3. You don't have many bad hands when you have a 9-card hand at minimum to end your turn, Yeah, you might have dead drew, but, you could probably play out of it. So, again, that's just coming from my perspective on that. So that's probably not applicable to every deck. But yes, I'm planning to play more text since it's 2 out of 3. Again, you lose, you go into the bad bracket, and You want to stay out of there as long as possible. I assure you, it gets messy over there.
Gets messy. You don't know what you're playing against down there. You better watch out, guys.
Right, and like the meta makes sense on the top half. On the bottom, you can play anything.
I like it too. I like it too because like it literally like moves you from the top to down under. You're like, I don't know what's happening down here, guys. You better watch out.
Right. Like I said, like the anxiety I get going to the losers bracket is like worse than round 1 of nationals, knowing you could play anything. You could be playing 4 Pikachu, but it might nuzzle you and deck you out. You just got no clue.
Round 1 hit Drillbur and they somehow deck you out, like they play your game instead.
Right.
You're like, oh no, Drillbur! Like I think I have this matchup, but like they could meal me instead.
Yep.
I don't know. It's weird things like that, like you said. So going forward, battle styles, looked into it all or no?
I haven't looked at it yet. I've put that completely on the back burner. I'm just a PTCGO guy. Until it's on there, if it's not on the client, it's not real yet to me. So I'll figure it out. I'll watch some videos, and I'll figure it out pretty quickly.
Yeah, don't watch my videos because I'm the same way too. That's why I only do one main. That's why I only do one main deck Monday a week because I'm trying to learn these decks the same way. I can't read. I gotta click the buttons to see what cards to do. All right. Well, you have any shout outs? Anything else you want to say before we head out, sir?
Let's see. Well, thanks for having me on. It's been real fun. I really hope you do well this weekend.
You too, bud.
Thank you.
My goodness, if we flip round 1, I'll cry.
Oh. Well, we can't. Let's see. So, I should have a round 1 bye.
Oh, true, because you're 5th seed.
Right, because I don't think... Yeah, I think last time I checked, there were like 230-something people registered, so pretty safe for a round 1 bye as of this morning.
Okay.
Yeah, so luckily we won't play too soon.
Yeah, because I'll probably be like in the middle, I think.
Right.
I never looked to see what my final standing really was, so.
I can't wait to the person that metagames me. That's like looking at the bracket, like, I got him. I just got to beat round 1. I got Blake in round 2. I'm gonna send him down under.
I'm gonna send him down under. I'm gonna send him to Australia. Oh yeah, I appreciate you doing it too, man. It's a lot of fun. So.
Yeah. Been fun catching up. Shout out all my horsemen, all my fish knuckles.
Oh man, all the fish knuckles, wherever they are, they're all playing Digimon too. Majority of them. we're all playing Digimon. I literally got a text from John during this, and he says, "How do I do Tabletop Simulator?" Because he wants to play Digimon. I love him. So yeah, Blake, congratulations, top 5 again. Good luck.
Thank you.
Got the first round bye, and we both got the first team challenge win. We don't have to worry about it. Me and Blake are both like super stressing about playing like the team challenge and players go at the same time. But then we won, so it doesn't matter.
I can't wait to stress about it next week when we have to play team challenge and week 2.
Look, if that's the case, I'm just playing PC.
Exactly.
Sorry guys for Memphis, but I got more important things to do. Sorry. So. All right. Well, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you want to see more, let me know. I love doing this. I miss doing this. As Blake, I used to do this all the time. Like,
yeah, I'm watching it, man.
Now everybody else does it. So can't beat them. All right, guys. Anyway, shout out to Blake again. We'll see you this weekend, Saturday. Maybe Blake will stream. Blake, you got to stream it now.
I might. We'll see. We might get like 1 view.
Hey, I'll be that 1 view. Oh, my leg's cramping.
All right, man. Yeah.
All right, Blake, take care.
All right. Thanks, Wiki.
Hey, thank you.